here from GS Bike Traders. Today we're glad to welcome Chris from Flying Brick. He's the owner. He's going to run through some of the accessories and stuff that you get for the LCs. And I'm going to hand you over to Chris.
Thank you. Thank you all for the opportunity. I appreciate it very much. Just coming around the bike, I've got about 5 main items to show you in 5 minutes. And the first one I'm going to start on is a side stand enlarger. This is a pretty big bike, in excess of 200 kilos. Has a fairly small footprint on the bottom of the side stand. What we sell and what GS traders sell is a side stand enlarger that will more than double the size of that side stand. What that means is if you get to a farm gate on a sandy road, you're putting a heavy bike, possibly with luggage on its side stand, you don't have to be as cautious that it's in thick or soft sand. The side stand enlarger doubles the footprint, stops the bike from toppling over. Very useful, very easy to fit. That's a side stand enlarger. This one from Go Gravel, Motor Radical, SW Motec, many companies make them. Moving on to another product is Footpegs. This bike, 1200 LCA BMW liquid cooled adventure, comes out with a relatively good foot peg, but many riders on these bikes are quite tall. So Flying Brick makes a foot peg that is slightly longer, slightly wider, and most importantly it has this step down. The step down means this foot peg is 20 mil lower, 2 centimeter, and we do another peg that is 28 mil lower for very tall giants. Basically, 3 things happen. When you're sitting on the bike and you've got a lowered foot peg, the tall guys have way less knee bend, and they find it more comfortable. When they're going from sitting to standing, getting into the standing position is easier because your feet are already 2 centimeters lower down and it's almost an easier stand, less bend in the knee. When you're standing, if you're fairly tall, less crouching over the handlebars. Some very tall guys still want handlebar raises. We suggest people fit lowered foot pegs before they try raises if they know they're fairly tall and they think they're going to need the added advantage of a bit more drop on the foot peg. So 3 advantages for lower foot peg, they really do make a difference. Coming on to protection, the liquid cooled adventure from BMW, the 1200, it comes out with this plate. I wouldn't call this a bash plate, I'd call it a skid plate. Very useful for skidding over a rock. But as far as protection goes, it's rather on the small size. South Africans are known to do fairly extreme things with these bikes, fun sales pass, etc. So for that very reason, there are aftermarket bash plates from many companies, Go Gravel, Motor Radical, Riot Gear, and SW Motec. And basically this bash plate has fins or protection on the side, on the front, and it's very long. If you compare the length of it, it really is quite a length. This length is useful. The catalytic converter sits where my fist is, so it gets protected from an unlikely rock. It uses rubber mountings, those 5 rubber mountings, and an additional bracket. And what that means is it's securely attached to the bike and can take a real knock. The isolation of the rubber helps with impact protection. And I'm sure you can see, looking at the two, quite clearly how much protection one would give. Not needed by everybody, but most people going on a bit of a rough trip, the protection afforded by this will make all the difference. Moving on to headlight protection. Again, protection. A headlight protector does 2 things. It physically protects the headlight from a stone, but more importantly, and equally importantly, it usually has an orange lens in. Orange lens can be fitted to the high beam or the driving low beam, and that is an optional choice. You can actually decide. Really what happens is this fits with 2 brackets onto the headlight using pre-existing bolts, no drilling. It nearly always has a standoff, meaning it's not resting right against the headlight. It has a standoff. And if I can just reach for the actual lenses, it comes with 4 pieces of perspex, if you want to call that, acrylic. And that means you can have orange and clear. You can have orange on that side and clear on that light. You can have clear, clear, and orange, orange. Talking about driving with orange, they are 100% legal between the hours of sunrise and sunset. They are theoretically illegal after sunset because effectively you're putting an orange filter ahead of a light, and the light has to be a certain brightness. But perfectly useful for day-to-day riding. In traffic, it makes you far more visible. Soccer moms and dads heading off to golf and not thinking about motorbikes see you with the orange lenses. Coming around to soft luggage, I brought along 3 bags from 3 different companies. They're all good bags, and they all have their own followers and fanatics. Basically, on the bigger bikes like the Liquid Cooled Adventure, you can very easily get quite a wide bag on, which means you have a big throat for getting into the bag. On certain other bikes, we prefer to put on a smaller landscape, not portrait bag, because it fits the geometry of the bike. The bike doesn't have as much size to take a bag. But here's an example of 3 bags. They all have unique benefits and features. One, for example, has a very, very stiff floor, so even when it's empty, it doesn't lose its shape. Another one, completely waterproof without needing an inner bag. Basically, that's also very useful. And this one, interestingly enough, has a little locking cable, and it can be locked. Rather interesting for soft luggage. And that's another bag from a company called Bmw Gs. They make a very nice bag with a very, very stiff floor, some outside pockets which we quite like, and people are quite fond of the Bmw bags too. Basically, I'm going to move around the motorbike. When fitting these bags, any pannier bags, to an adventure bike with its own pannier racks, we do like to use the following. It's a plate. It clicks into the rack, as I'm going to demonstrate in 20 seconds, and basically it keeps the soft luggage from pushing through onto the silencer. Silencer is very hot, not too far away either. This just keeps it from pushing through. Absolute peace of mind, not very expensive. Pull off the protective tape, pop it in, and it fits very easy with just 2 mounting points. So that's a plate. I'll now show you how to fit it. Simply goes in under there, clicks down, and just uses the 2 attached mounting brackets that come in the packet, and then just pull off the protective tape, and the bag sits very nicely on there. As you can see, it also provides a little bit of protection for the exhaust. If you are playing off-road without luggage on, you just got a little bit of extra protection. Some people have a 20,000 Rand Acropovic on there, very nice silencer. You don't want to get it scratched or dinged. It does give extra impact protection. Finally, talking about something very useful from Luggage, where importers and GS traders fit these to a lot of their bikes. The 1200 LCA screen is very clever in that it's height adjustable both up and down, which is a very useful feature. Height adjustable and its angle of attack. But having said that, because it's on a pivot point, there is sometimes some movement on the screen at speed. Luggage very cleverly make a bracket that just fits in using pre-existing bolt holes and basically stops any lateral movement on the screen. And that's a particularly good, useful must-have almost. There are other brands available. Luggage is one of the best, and that's for stopping the screen from moving at higher speeds. So in conclusion, the 1200 LCA comes very, very well outfitted. It has crash bars, it has a big tank, it has pannier racks, it has a rack for taking a top box. There's a top box and a pannier box right off the back of the bike here. Very, very useful. It's very well fitted out. The things I've shown today are the only thing it could really use. Definitely side stand enlarger. Tall people, the load Footpegs are very useful. Some people will need handlebar raisers. We like the screen stabilizer. We're a fan of soft luggage for people who take the bike off road and might fall. If you fall with a soft luggage and a strap tears, you can use a rock strap or something to put it back on. If you fall with hard boxes and one breaks away, it's very hard to continue your journey with that box. It's almost not fittable back to the bike again. And then just in conclusion, the bash plate we think is very, very worthwhile. We do take these bikes to extreme places, and that offers proper protection, way more than the manufacturer's, let's call it a little skid plate rather than a bash plate. That's it for now. I'll be back in a second to walk over to you and show you where you can get some accessories here in GS Traders. Hey, it's Chris again, Flying Brick Motorcycle Accessories owner, but here at GS Traders. Just want to let you know that in GS Traders they have a range of our accessories on display, mostly geared towards the GS bikes. I'll run through a few of the products with you, but you can get your products here at the time of getting your bike. If you need something that's not on these boards, GS Traders will order it from Flying Brick. If you still can't get it, you're always welcome to visit Flying Brick, but we have a good range of products here on the boards. I'll just start off with a few of them. Rock straps, almost indispensable for tying anything onto a motorcycle. Like we discussed in the video, headlight protectors for different types of bikes and different types of protection for the headlights. We do things like tie-down straps, bark buster handguards to protect the hands, things like tank and knee pads for the side of the tank. We've already discussed the BMW low pegs and the side stand enlargers in the video. A few electrical items and some mirrors. A very useful thing is a miniature compressor, miniature in size, extremely strong, and that compressor useful for inflating tires when you've been off-road, getting them back up to pressure, or if you have a puncture to get the tire back up to pressure. That's a compressor. Moving on to the second board, we talked about the Wunderlich screen stabilizers, very useful to stop that light screen wobble. Puncture repair kit tool, a very innovative puncture repair kit tool that GS Traders stock. Things like tire levers for taking for breaking the bead and then getting the tire off the rim, very useful for the tubed motorbikes like the 800 GS. A fair variety of puncture repair kits, CO2 bombs, gaiters for patching a big hole in a motorbike. And then some very sexy, rather nice handlebar mounted accessories to take a cell phone, either landscape or portrait. Very clever. Just turn it 90 degrees, it clicks into place. And as you can see, there are 3 or 4 different opportunities for places to put the cell phone. Very useful. Billet aluminium and secure. No plastic rubbish. Billet aluminium and secure. We do a range of both imported and domestically produced handlebar bags, particularly affordable. There's a range of maps. We can get more than that, but those are 3 more popular ones: South Africa, Namibia and Botswana. We do a fuel cell. If you are going on a longer trip, this is the smaller 3 litre, but we also do the 5 litre. It's a foldable fuel cell, but can take fuel for those bikes that might need a little bit more range. And we also do hard cells for both fuel and water that can be attached to the bike using an innovative rack system. And this simply fits onto there, and when you get to the garage, can be filled up. In conclusion, those are most of the products available to go with the bike. And we'd love our business relationship with GS Traders, with Jaco and Jeff and the guys. And Douglas in the workshop. They have a workshop here and can do service on BMW motorbikes, an approved technician. We love our relationship with them, and we look forward to that continuing for many, many years. If you need your bike, I would come here, and if you need your accessories, you could start here and always move on to Flying Brick. Thank you again, everyone, for the opportunity.
Okay guys, thanks to Chris for such an amazing display and a great run through of the LC and the accessories. Yeah, we've got a good business relationship between Flying Brick and GS Bike Traders. We're going to have Chris hopefully come back in a few days' time, do another video with you, run through some more extras and accessories on the bikes. And yes, on behalf of GS Bike Traders and myself, thanks Chris for being here, and thank you for watching our YouTube channel. After this, please feel free to subscribe to the channel at the bottom, the link below, as well as our Facebook page at GS Bike Traders. Thanks Chris.
Absolute pleasure. Stay safe and enjoy the ride.
Nice.